If you are watching this video right now, you are part of a story that began more than 200 years ago. A story about life itself. For thousands of years, humanity believed that every animal, every plant, and every person was created exactly as they appear today. Perfect, unchanging, eternal. This was a world of fixed design, where the lion had always been a hunter, and the rose had always been red, each created for its specific purpose in a grand, unchanging theater of life. This idea was a source of comfort and order, a belief that the world was a perfectly crafted masterpiece, complete and finished from the very beginning. It was a truth so fundamental that to question it was to question the very fabric of existence. But one quiet man looked at nature and saw something completely different. He saw a world not of stillness, but of constant motion. He did not see perfection. He saw a relentless, ongoing process. He saw change. In the curve of a finch's beak, in the fossilized bones of a giant sloth, and in the vibrant tapestry of a coral reef, he witnessed a story being written and rewritten over immense stretches of time. He saw a dynamic, breathing world where nothing was truly permanent. He saw struggle. He observed that life was not a peaceful garden but a battlefield where every organism fought for its existence. He saw the tiny sapling stretching for a sliver of sunlight, the predator hunting for its next meal, and the prey desperately evolving to escape its fate. He saw that for every creature that survived, many more perished. This was not a story of divine harmony, but of a fierce competition for resources, for mates, and for the simple chance to pass on its legacy. He saw life constantly adapting to survive. His name was Charles Darwin, and his idea would become one of the most powerful and controversial discoveries in the history of science. It was an idea that would shake the foundations of biology, religion, and our understanding of our own place in the universe. It was a revelation that suggested we were not special creations but part of a vast branching tree of life, connected by a common ancestor to every living thing on Earth. This idea, the theory of evolution by natural selection, would forever alter how we see the world and ourselves. But the strange part is this: Darwin did not begin his life as a famous scientist. He was not a revolutionary from birth, destined to challenge the beliefs of centuries. He did not set out with a grand mission to rewrite the story of life. On the contrary, his early years were marked by a distinct lack of direction and purpose, showing little sign of the monumental genius he would later become. He was once a confused young man who failed medical school, much to his father's disappointment. The sight of blood and surgery horrified him, and he found the lectures dull and uninspiring. He was then sent to study theology at Cambridge, with the hope that he might become a country parson, a respectable, quiet life. He had no clear vision for his future and drifted through his studies, more interested in riding horses and shooting than in academic pursuits. So how did this uncertain student, this directionless young man, become the person who changed biology forever? To understand that, we have to begin with a young boy who loved collecting beetles. This was where his true passion lay, not in lecture halls or operating theaters, but in the fields and forests of the English countryside. It was this quiet, obsessive curiosity about the natural world, this simple joy in finding a new and unusual insect, that set him on an unexpected path. It was a journey that would take him far from the quiet life his father had planned, to the farthest corners of the globe, and deep into the very heart of life's greatest mystery. In the quiet English town of Shrewsbury, A boy was born in 1809 who would one day change how we see the world. His name was Charles Darwin. He grew up surrounded by wealth and knowledge. His father was a respected doctor, and his grandfather was already known for his early ideas on evolution. But for young Charles, the world of medicine held little appeal. His heart belonged to the wild. What truly fascinated him was nature. As a child, he spent countless hours wandering through forests and fields, a silent observer in a world teeming with life. He collected insects, studied plants, and filled boxes with the strange and wonderful creatures he found. For him, nature was the greatest teacher, revealing secrets that no book could ever explain. But this deep connection with the natural world would soon be tested. When he was sent to medical school in Edinburgh, his path seemed set. But the reality of medicine was a harsh awakening. Darwin could not stand the sight of surgery in an era before anesthesia. One day, he witnessed a painful operation on a child. The screams were unbearable. He fled the room, his spirit broken by the raw and brutal reality of human suffering. Soon after, he left medical school completely. To his father, this decision was a profound disappointment, a sign of failure. The young man who loved the wild now had no direction, no clear future. Lost and uncertain, Darwin faced a crossroads. So, his father decided on a new path for him. He would become a priest. Darwin was sent to Cambridge University to study divinity. But fate had other plans. At Cambridge, he met a professor who would quietly change the course of his life forever. A man named John Stevens Henslow, a botanist with a keen eye for talent. Henslow saw beyond Darwin's uncertainty and noticed his deep, unwavering curiosity about the natural world. He encouraged him to explore science, geology, and natural history, nurturing the passion that had been there all along. Then, in 1831, an opportunity appeared that seemed to be crafted by destiny itself. An invitation to join a ship, the HMS Beagle, on a voyage around the world. It was a chance to escape the path laid out for him, and to follow the call of the wild that had echoed in his heart since childhood. What Darwin would see during that 5-year journey would slowly lead him to a discovery that would shake the very foundations of science. But the most important clue was still waiting, hidden on a group of strange, isolated islands in the vastness of the Pacific Ocean, the Galapagos. In the quiet expanse of the Galapagos Islands, a young naturalist named Charles Darwin noticed something peculiar. Animals that appeared similar at first glance were, upon closer inspection, not the same at all. He observed giant tortoises, each with a shell uniquely shaped to the island it called home. He saw mockingbirds that varied subtly from one rocky shore to another. But it was a collection of small, unassuming birds that truly captured his attention. They possessed beaks of remarkably different shapes and sizes. Some had strong, thick beaks, perfect for crushing the hard seeds found on their island. Others had delicate, slender beaks, ideally suited for probing into flowers or snatching insects from the air. It was as if each bird had been meticulously crafted for its specific environment, a living tool perfectly adapted to its world. An astonishing idea began to form in Darwin's mind. Perhaps life was not fixed and unchanging. Perhaps it was in a constant state of flux, slowly and silently changing, adapting, evolving. This thought followed him on his long voyage back to England, a seed of an idea that would grow to challenge everything he thought he knew. Upon his return, Darwin dedicated years to meticulously studying his specimens and poring over his detailed notes. He was searching for a mechanism, a natural law that could explain the diversity he had witnessed. The answer arrived unexpectedly one day as he read an essay on population and survival. Suddenly, the pieces of the puzzle clicked into place. Everything made sense. He realized that in the relentless struggle for existence, more individuals are born than can possibly survive. Nature, in its impartial way, selects those with the most advantageous traits. Only the strongest, the fastest, and the best adapted live long enough to pass their characteristics on to the next generation. Over vast stretches of time, through countless generations, this gradual process causes species to change, to become something new. Darwin called this profound and powerful process natural selection. In 1859, after decades of quiet contemplation and rigorous research, he finally published his revolutionary book on the origin of species. The idea sent shockwaves across the globe. It proposed a radical new history of life, one that suggested all living things, from the smallest insect to the largest whale, share a common ancestor. This included, most controversially, humans. The theory was met with both outrage and awe. Some fiercely rejected the notion that humanity was not a special, divine creation, but simply another branch on the great tree of life. They saw his work as a direct assault on faith and tradition. Others, however, recognized they were witnessing a monumental scientific revolution, a fundamental shift in how we understand our place in the universe. Today, Darwin's idea of evolution is the unshakable foundation of modern biology. It is the unifying principle that helps scientists understand everything from the complexities of genetics to the development of life-saving medicines. It explains the resistance of bacteria to antibiotics and informs the conservation of endangered species. Yet, the story of Charles Darwin is more than just a tale of scientific discovery. It is a powerful reminder that relentless curiosity, a willingness to question established beliefs, can forever change the world. It shows us that the most profound revolutions in human history do not always begin with grand pronouncements or epic battles. Sometimes they start with a simple, quiet observation and an even simpler question: why? If you enjoy exploring the lives of those who changed our world, consider subscribing to our channel for more stories from history. We would also love to hear from you. Let us know in the comments which historical figure you would like us to journey with next.